All right, greetings everybody, and welcome to week number 2. That is right, week number 2 of your 7314 class, which is your reference class. As always, I'm your professor, Dr. J.S.K. Austin, and what we are going to do this week is we are going to have a quick state of the course update, and then after the state of the course update, there are 2 things that I want to go over with you. The first is actually kind of like 3 things that I want to go over with you, and we're going to do that during this video. This video will probably be about 30 minutes. You do want to speed it up probably. The first thing we're going to look at after we do the state of the course update is we are going to look at 2 common APA mistakes. Now, for those of you who have had me in a class before, you have already seen this, so you can kind of skip ahead. You can skip ahead if you want to when I get into the 2 APA mistakes, because you all are already aware, if you've had me before, of what I'm going to say. I say it in every single class. After we go over the 2 common APA mistakes that I will be checking for when I grade 2 of your assignments, after we go over that, what we are going to do is we are going to make sure that you all know how to use the Journal Finder feature and Interlibrary Loan. These are reference skills for you to learn, and they can also be useful when you are trying to complete assignments in this program. Give me one moment. All right, so let's go ahead, and first we're going to dive into that state of the course update. So let's go ahead and make me small and go into the student view. The main thing that I want you all to be aware of is what's coming up this week, and what is coming up this week for you to turn in is going to be your database unassignment, which is going to be due on June the 16th, which is this coming Sunday. Now, so I got a message from a student earlier today who was not able to find the assigned databases. And so if I really don't like, you know how it is when a lot of times these technology people, they do updates claiming that it's going to make something better and it makes it worse. I feel that's what's happened with Canvas right now. So Canvas used to organize the discussion board posts in a different way than how it does now. This update just took place this summer. So for those of you who have been in the program prior to this summer, you probably know how Canvas used to make these things look. Now you can see how they look now, and they do not look great. But having said that, if you scroll down, so what's going to happen here, I'm actually going to pause. All right, and I'm kind of careful about allowing people's names to be seen in the videos, just again as a FERPA thing, and then also as a in the past had a student who had a stalker, and she was worried that the stalker might be able to access a video and see that she was taking the class. So having said that, yeah, in order to protect students, I'm making sure that nobody's name is showing up here. But if you scroll down, it used to be that the first comment you'd see as soon as you scroll down past the prompt would be the first comment that was put up there, which would have been my comment. But now it does sort to newest first, and it also hides replies. I do not like how it looks at all. But if you scroll down, on June the 1st, and I edited on June the 9th, but on June the 1st, I created a post with all of your assignments. So if you scroll down, you'll find that, but you can also find your assigned database in an announcement that I sent up earlier today. Okay, so if you find that announcement that I sent out earlier today, that will also have your assigned databases in it, and you need to make sure that you turn that in by Sunday night. Now, I will say this, if you look at what your classmates have done, what your classmates have done is acceptable. So if you're not sure what it's going to take in order for you to get a good grade on this assignment, just look at what your classmates have already done. And if you match that level of effort that your classmates have put forth, then you will be just fine and you will get your 10 out of 10, okay? The other piece that I want to mention with the state of the course update is that you all do now have your partner assignments for the virtual reference assignment. So now that you have your partner assignments, what you need to do is go ahead and make contact with your partner and schedule a time where you are going to be able to meet up, and you can meet virtually. You don't have to meet in person, but schedule that time to where you can meet up, complete the assignment, do what the assignment prompt is telling you to do, and then go ahead and get the assignment done. That assignment, the virtual reference assignment, is going to be due in 2 weeks. So it is going to be due on the 23rd, I believe. Yes, on June the 23rd. So not much turnaround from when you complete the database unassignment. You complete that and have that to me on this coming Sunday, and then after that, the next Sunday, you're going to have this virtual reference assignment completed, okay? And the other thing that I want to mention very quickly is when it comes to discussions. You all are doing a fantastic job with discussions. Everybody got their intro post in on time. And everybody also, there was nobody who was late as far as doing their discussion prompt number 1, why reference. You all are currently working on discussion prompts number 2 and 3. Both of those are going to be due this coming Sunday, and I see 12 of you have already started with discussion board 2, or at least there are 12 posts in there at least, and then also 8 in discussion board 3. But make sure you do discussion prompts 2 and 3 in time to turn them in this coming Sunday night. Okay, so that's the state of the course update. Now let's get into some other things. First, let's look at APA and 2 common mistakes. Balls. All right, so let's talk about those 2 common APA mistakes. First of all, let me mention that you all are going to be graded on proper APA usage on 2 assignments in this class, okay? So I do want you to, even in your discussion board post, please cite, and then also in your semester-long project, please cite and get it as good as you can. But I do not count off for improper citation formatting on the semester-long project or in the discussion board posts. I do count off for improper APA citation on 2 assignments, the Wikipedia edit assignment and the virtual reference practice paper assignment, which is going to be due on, again, June the 23rd. So the paper that you've got due in a little less than 2 weeks, you do have to cite sources in that paper. You're in grad school, so you should be citing sources. And then also, yes, you have to get your APA correct. And if you don't get your APA correct, I am going to count off for that. Now, there are 2 common mistakes that people make with APA all the time. And so what I do is I try to make a video that warns people not to make these mistakes. And a lot of people heed the warnings, but some people don't. So I'm warning you ahead of time. I know at least one of you is going to make these mistakes on this first assignment, on this virtual reference assignment. I know at least one of you is going to make a mistake. I am going to put language in the announcement that says if you're not sure that you have if you're not sure that you have APA citation mastered, then watch this video so you can avoid mistakes. I say that in the announcement. And a lot of people overestimate or are overconfident in their abilities of understanding APA, so they don't watch, and then they make the exact same mistakes that I tell them not to make. And from there, they get the points counted off, and then they correct themselves in the Wikipedia edit assignment, but they still lost those points on the virtual reference practice paper. I am hoping to have 100% of you get this right on the first paper, on the virtual reference assignment paper, but we'll see how it goes. So let me tell you what those 2 common mistakes are. And I do hope to see you all avoid them. Give me one moment, pause. All right, so let's go in here and we are going to go to this Purdue OWL. So first of all, you actually don't need to buy the APA citation handbook if you don't want to, not for my class. Now, if another instructor tells you to buy it, then buy it for that instructor. But you don't actually have to buy the citation style manual for my class. However, if you don't buy the citation style manual, then I recommend that you use some sort of resource in order to check over your citations and construct your citations properly. And I recommend the Purdue OWL for that resource. So for those of you who have been out of school for a while and don't know what the Purdue OWL is, all you have to do is Google Purdue OWL APA, and it's going to bring you to this site here, and you can use the Purdue OWL in order to format your citations. Now, one other thing that I want to warn you all about is that you do not, I repeat, you do not want to rely on citation software to get things right without double checking it. So I know a lot of students use Zotero, and Zotero is good. We have workshops on how to help students use Zotero. So Zotero is good. But Zotero still makes mistakes. It's not foolproof. And what you need to do is you do need to double check what Zotero produces, okay? So don't assume that Zotero got things right. Zotero didn't necessarily get things right, and you have to double check what Zotero does, okay? But let's go into the APA formatting and style guide, and we will look at this first mistake first. The first mistake, the first thing that a lot of students do, even though they should not, is, and we're not going to be talking about in-text citations right now, we're going to be talking about the reference list for both of these common mistakes. So with the reference list, the first thing that a lot of students do that you're not supposed to do is that you do not write out the first and middle names of authors in the reference list, even if you have that information. So as you can see here, for example, a reference entry for a source written by Jane Marie Smith would begin with Smith, comma, J period, M period. Okay, and if the middle name is not available, then Smith, comma, J period. But as you can see, they did not put Smith, comma, Jane Marie. They just put Smith, comma, J period, M period. And that is one of the mistakes that I know a lot of you are going to make, or at least one of you is going to make. I shouldn't say a lot, but at least one of you is going to make this mistake and not watch this video and make this mistake. You're going to have an author's full name and you're going to write out the author's full name instead of doing, for instance, if you were citing me, instead of doing Austin, comma, J period, K period, you're going to put Austin, comma, Jason Kelly. Okay. And that's not how you're supposed to do it. And I'm going to mark it wrong, but some of you are going to have to learn the hard way. And that means that instead of watching the video, you're going to have to just lose points in the assignment. However, I'm hoping that most of you will watch the video or otherwise already be aware that you do not write out given names. You do not write out the first and middle names. You just initial them for the reference list. Okay, so that's the first mistake, and I know a lot of you are going to make this, or excuse me, I keep saying a lot. I know at least one of you is going to make this mistake, but I'm hoping it's only going to be maybe one or two of you. Okay, if none of you make this mistake, I will be very, very happy. The second common mistake with APA that students make all the time comes in the form of capitalization. So let's look and let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so when you're doing a reference list, here is your formatting. So as you can see, author, last name, and then comma, and then first initial, middle initial. So Stoneman, comma, R instead of Stoneman, comma, whatever their first name is. But having said that, after that, here's where a lot of students also mess up. So when you are writing book and periodical titles, you do not use standard English capitalization rules. Again, you do not use standard English capitalization rules. Look at what's going on here. The only things you capitalize are going to be the first word of the title, the first word of the subtitle, and any proper nouns. Again, the first word of the title, the first word of the subtitle, and any proper nouns. So, for instance, let's scroll down. A new companion to Mallory. As you can see, A is capitalized and Mallory is capitalized, but it's not like standard English where you would also have new capitalized and companion capitalized. The only words that are capitalized are the first word of the title. If there was a subtitle, the first word of the subtitle, and then any proper nouns, which Mallory is a proper noun. Let's scroll down and see if we can get another example. So yeah, here you go. Writing your journal article in 12 weeks, a guide to academic publishing success. Pay attention to what words are capitalized. In normal English, if this were a book title, you would capitalize your journal article, 12 weeks, guide, academic publishing and success. Are we doing that now? No. You are just capitalizing the first word of the title, the first word of the subtitle, and any proper nouns, which we don't have proper nouns there. Now, another thing that I do want to show you really quick is that proper nouns, you have to kind of pay attention. So Alexander the Great is itself a proper noun, but even with proper nouns, with an article, so the, those types of things, you do not capitalize those. But as you can see, great is also capitalized because great is part of the proper noun. Now, when you go into periodicals, which For those of you who don't know, periodicals are things that come out periodically and have volume and issue numbers usually. So things like magazines, academic journals, and newspapers, those types of things are considered periodicals, okay? And if you have a periodical, we are going to go over here for articles in a periodical. What you will see is that you do the same thing that we were talking about for book titles just a minute ago when you were talking about periodical titles. What you're going to do is you are going to do that just for the title of the article, but not for the title of the publication. Again, just for the title of the article, but not for the title of the publication. So what I mean by that is, again, let's scroll down and look at some examples that we have here. So this is the article title, and this is the publication title. The publication is the Purdue Journal of the Purdue Journal of Service Learning and International Engagement, Volume 6, Issue 1, pages 11 through 16. The article title out of this journal that we are looking at is Data and Experience Design, Negotiating Community-Oriented Digital Research with Service Learning. What words are capitalized? Data, negotiating, and that's it. All the other things in this article title are lowercase if they are not the first word of the title, the first word of the subtitle, or proper nouns. But that only is in effect for the article title, not for the publication title. So as you can see, the publication title, Purdue Journal of Service Learning and International Engagement, follows the standard capitalization rules, okay? So that's how that works, okay? And this would be the same whether you're doing magazines, journals, or newspapers. So again, we can scroll down, article in the magazine, Time magazine, as you can see, better late than never. The only thing that they've capitalized is better. Late and never are not. And in a newspaper, the title of this newspaper, the title of the publication is The Country Today, and all of those words are capitalized. But for the article title, which the article title is Calls Made to Strengthen State Energy Policies, you can see that the only word that is capitalized is calls. Okay? And then the other thing that I want to mention to you very quickly from here is that I am actually I'm showing you all a little mercy because things get a little more confusing when you're dealing with websites. So I'm only going to be checking for this on periodicals and books. But when you're using websites, I'm not going to be I'm not going to penalize the same way that I would with books and periodical articles. So these are the things that I'm mostly penalizing on. I'm actually going to cut you a little break on websites and other electronic resources because things get very, very confusing when you're dealing with that. Okay? All right, so those are the two common APA mistakes, and now we're just going to make sure that you all know how to use Journal Finder and Interlibrary Loan. That should take us about 15 minutes as well, so we'll be looking at 35 minutes. Again, I hope to sped this up. If you have not sped it up, you can speed it up now, and after another 15 minutes unsped up, we will be done. But let's go ahead and look at Journal Finder and Interlibrary Loan. Pause. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do, and the search process is not linear, which most of you already know, but if you don't already know that, yes, the search process is not always linear, so you're going to have to backtrack, you're going to go through dead ends, so forth and so on. So what I try to do in my videos is not make it look like the search process is linear, because if I make it look like the search process is linear, then when people find out that it's not linear, when students find out that it's not linear, then they panic and they're like, oh man, what did I do wrong? And it might be that you didn't do anything wrong. It's just that you had to stop and redirect. So that's why I kind of paused this here and just let you all know that, yes, you do not have to, if you reach a dead end, it's okay. And so I might reach a dead end, I might not, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to try the search first without having already done it to see if we have the journal. And if we don't, then I am going to look ahead and make sure that we've got the journal so that you can see how the process should work. Okay, give me one moment. Okay, so let's see if I am absolutely lucky. And if I'm not lucky, then again, what I'm showing you is that the search process is not linear. And if you reach a dead end, it doesn't mean that you did anything wrong. So a lot of times what I'm about to show you comes in handy if you find things on Google Scholar that you do not have access to, or if you find things anywhere else that you don't have access to. But a lot of times Google Scholar is where you're finding these things. So let's first say this. So when you're using Google Scholar, if you see one of these links over here, then that means that what you're looking at is freely accessible online. So let's say that I wanted, I don't even know what that is. Actually, I think I'm on page 2. I'm going to go back to page 1. So let's say that I did want this harvest release decisions and recreational fisheries. Let's say that I wanted this article. I've got this link here, and so if I click this link, if you see that type of link, then that means that you do not have to be a member of a library or do any logging in or any of that stuff in order to access the article. You will be able to access the full text just by clicking that link to the right. As you can see, I did that just now. But let's say that you don't have that link, and you also don't want to pay for one of these articles. So let's say you scroll down, let's say you go to page 2, and you see this thing that is in the Journal of Environmental something, and you're like, that looks like it could be useful. I really want that. But you don't see this link over here. So that means that it's not freely accessible online, at least not through Google Scholar, or not something that we're going to pick up from here. So what can you do? Well, if you click it, they'll try to sell it to you. So let's see what they do. Oh man, it looks like that is actually, oh, okay. Yeah, this is just a preview. So I was like, what's going on? But it is just a preview. Okay. And so if you wanted to purchase this, it's probably pretty expensive. Okay, well, it's gonna waste time for me to go through that, so I'm not even gonna mess with that. We are just going to take those out. Oh, actually, I'm going to use those because I can't use those for Elsevier. All right, so let's say that we wanted to, okay, here we go. So if you wanted to get this, you do have the option of purchasing, and that purchase is going to be $36. That is a lot for one article, especially one article that you're going to use for one assignment. And that could add up. So you don't want to do that. So another thing that you can do, this came out of, and you'll get very savvy as far as learning right away what journal an article came out of. This came out of the Journal of Environmental Management. So let's go to library.missouri.edu. And we are going to look for a specific journal and see if we have access to that journal. That journal, again, going to be the Journal of Environmental Management. So again, if you did not see what I did, I went to library.missouri.edu, which is the library homepage. I got here, and once I got here, let me just put that up so you can see the URL there. So once I got here, I went to looking for a specific journal. Click. Okay. And so the journal we're looking for is the Journal of Environmental Management. Let's see if they have it. Yes, they do. So we'll get that. And then we've got to see when they have it. So Journal of Environmental Management, they have it from paper copies from 1975 to 2000, and then they have full text access online from 1998 to the present. And as you can see, what you have to go back and do is make sure you're within the date range, and we are here, February 2020. So February 2020 is after 1998 and before present, so this is what we can use. And then from there, finding the article is simple. So yeah, this was a linear search, but trust me, there are times when I look for a journal and we don't have the journal. But in this case, yes, we've got the journal. So what we can do from here, now that we've clicked this and gotten to the journal homepage, what we can do is we've got to find our volume 255. So articles and issues. Let's go to all issues. And we are going to want to scroll down to volume, that said all volume 255. Oh, buddy. Okay, let's see if that's really where we are. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Volume 255. So scroll down. Volume 255, February 1st, 2020. And then we are looking at, I don't know if that's even a page number. Let's see here. We might need to find a page number from there. Or not. Okay. But we do have our article title, which is Release of Toxic Elements, blah, blah, blah. So if we come down, we scroll down, you will see the various articles, and you can click the View PDF to get the full text. And so what we're going to do is we are going to do a Control F or a Control Find for release and see if that gets us there. It's not that one. There we go. So release of toxic elements in fish pond sediments. Yep, this is it. And we've got that full text. And we click it. And we did not have to pay our $36 because that is our full text right there, y'all. So this can save you time and money, and this is one of the things that we as libraries do. And you will find the Journal Finder feature in a lot of libraries. This is not something that is specific to Mizzou. It's probably something that you can find at your local academic and public libraries as well. And if you need help finding the feature, talk to your reference librarian. They will be happy to help you. So let's say, however, let's pause. All right, now let's say, however, that you are dealing with something that we will not have the full text of, okay? Or we will not have the journals of at your local library. So here's an example. So again, we're back on Google Scholar, and let's say that we are still looking for Missouri fisheries, and you can see right there, let's say that we wanted this article. Evaluation of minimum size limits and reduced daily limits on the crappie populations and fisheries in 5 large Missouri reservoirs. All right, you can see that this is not freely accessible. So what can we do now? Well, we can hope that it is something that we would get through Journal Finder. So and I've already looked this one up just for the sake of time. So let's say you have the North American Journal of Fisheries Management. So here's what Missouri has. The North American Journal of Fisheries Management, full text access. We do have some full text access. Taylor and Francis has it from 2011 through 2017. And then Wiley Online Library gives us access from 1996 through the current day. So, and then their paper copy is from 81 to 2005. So let's see if what we have falls in our date range from 1996 to the present. It does not, because it came out in 1991. So we will not have access to this unless we wanted to go for the paper copies, but we're not going to do that. So what we need to do in this case is interlibrary loan, and most libraries do participate in interlibrary loan. If you currently work for a library and don't know much about the interlibrary loan feature, then go ahead and talk to the interlibrary loan department. Ask them what they do, ask them how it works, blah, 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 and they'll tell you about OCLC and all these various things, and you can have a learning library experience. But for now, what Dr. Jace is going to teach you is not related to that. We're going to teach you something more pertinent, and that is how to access and use interlibrary loan. Okay, so this does us no good, and we want this article. So your tuition has already paid for a feature that you can use in order to try to get this article a different way. Let me show you how that works. All right, so we're going to put this down. We're going to make me small, and we're going to keep this tab up, but we're going to leave this tab and go back to the library. And from here, when we're going back to the library, we are going to, because we do not have access to that article through our Journal Finder feature, what we're going to do is request an item through ILL, which stands for Interlibrary Loan at MU, Missouri University, University of Missouri. All right, and I've got my login stuff there. Okay, and I've got my login stuff there. All right, hold on for a second. Okay, so I got prompted to update my password on that, so that's where that interruption came from. I apologize for that, but I paused so that you didn't have to watch me do all that. And what we're going to do is make a request for this item. So what we do, since we can't access it any other way, and we don't want to pay that $36 for it, but we do have a feature, again, already paid for in your tuition, that can help you access this. So we're going to use that feature to make a new request, this interlibrary loan feature. New requests, and what we're looking at is going to be an article. So all you do from here is you fill in the pertinent information. You fill in what it is asking you for. Here's our article title, so we'll put it where the article title is asked for, right there. We do need our journal title. So our journal title is this. Okay. Put that there. Now, the more information you're really only required to put in the required information or the required fields, which makes sense. But the more information you can give, the easier it is for them to speed this process up. So we're going to add some things even that are not in required fields. So article author, we have Michael Coven. I'm just going to type that in because that. Did I spell that right? No, I did not. Holy crap, I butchered that. Okay, Michael Coven. All right, and then we have volume and issue information. Volume 11, issue 4. Volume 11, issue 4. Month. We may not have. Not everything is going to give you a month. It says published on January 2011 there. But we're not going to use this because this is from a volume of 1991. This is when it was published online. So we're going to leave that alone. That is not going to be helpful for us. So we're going to skip that month. We're going to look at our year, which is 1991. It is not 2011. You do go by the year that you see here and not the year that you see for published online. Okay, inclusive pages required. That is going to be 585 to 597. Okay. ISSN. We may not have that, and I'm not going to go looking for it. Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to go looking for it because even though it says that providing the ISSN will get you the resource faster, Mizzou works pretty fast on this anyway. We're not going to have a call number. We're not going to put an OCLC number or a DOI number. But if you wanted to, you could put those in and you could find your DOI from up there. Not want it after this date. Usually what you want to do is give them 2 weeks. So we are going to actually put 6/24. We would set the item in a language other than English, no. And you don't have to fill any of that stuff out. And I don't ever fill any of that stuff out. Actually, I'll put that. Google Scholar. Okay. And then what you do, all you do is you hit submit request. And what they'll do is they will, from there, somebody's going to process the request. And it usually takes, I think 98% of the requests are processed within 72 hours, okay? So they work pretty fast, and what's going to happen is if you're requesting an article, you're going to get an email, and the email is going to give you a link, and when you click that link, it's going to give you a download to the article. You download the article, you got the article once it's downloaded, blah, 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 and it's yours to keep. Now, if you get something like a book or a magazine, like a physical magazine or something like that, first of all, in order to do that, you are going to have to be here, well, not here in Columbia because I'm not in Columbia, but you're going to have to be in Columbia to get physical things through interlibrary loan, unless you use your local public library, which you are also welcome to do, or if you work at an academic library, you can use interlibrary loan that way. But yes, if you're getting physical things, then you have to be in the area to receive those physical things. But a lot of like ebooks and journal articles and that sort of thing, those things are delivered electronically. And so I will probably get a email within the next 3 days saying, hey, here's your outstanding request. And from there, you just go and you well, I've got an outstanding request right here, but once it has been received, then it'll be here at electronically received articles, and then I would just download and then I would have it to keep. So that is how that works, and that will prevent you from having to spend this money on buying journal articles that you don't have access to immediately through the library. A lot of students don't know about interlibrary loan, and a lot of students don't know about the journal finder feature and those things. Those are very useful things to know so that you can, when you're looking at Google Scholar or you're looking at references lists and you want to get some of those things that you see, you're not going to be able to pay for all that stuff, but thankfully your tuition has given you these tools, and so I wanted to tell you about them. Again, I hope you sped this up. That's really all I have to go over today. This would have been 2 different videos in the regular spring and fall, but I had to combine them for the summer, so they were kind of long, so I hope you sped this up. Anyway, that is it for me today. I am Dr. Jace, and I think that you should be remembering how to use Journal Finder and Interlibrary Loan just in case. I will see you all next week, and I will also see you all in the discussion boards replying to things that you post. See you soon. Thank you for being a good class thus far.